Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is well in stage 2 of lockdown. We are very thrilled to this morning be interviewing Nick Oldham, who is the headmaster of Bredon School. I think they have just joined us, so I will connect him now. Didn't have to have me waffling too much this morning. Should be coming online shortly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, hi.
Hi, Nick Oldham. Thank you for joining us, headmaster at Bredon School. I was just saying, you let me off the hook this morning. I usually have to do a long soliloquy. So thank you for that.
No problems.
Thank you again. I was just saying, in lockdown too, I just kick off by hearing how you guys are and how Bredon are coping in these strange times.
Sure, no, we're not too bad, thank you. Sort of taking every day, as it comes, and
Sure.
being situated where we are, we're pretty fortunate as well. So being out, in a nice countryside, definitely helps.
You're in Gloucestershire, aren't you? You're in beautiful country,
yeah, very much.
And you've
so,
got presumably amazing rolling hills surrounding the school.
Yes, yeah. So we're surrounded by a farm and a big estate as well. So yes, right out in the middle of nowhere. So it is lovely.
Amazing, fantastic. Nick, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what inspired you to be a head, and whether or not it's either met or exceeded expectations so far.
Sure. So what inspired me to become a head? Always loved education and teaching and seeing young people develop. And I think, the next step was moving up into a headship, but also being in a school for me that actually, I really felt part of, and there has to be a real connection there. So for me, Bredon was definitely the right choice career-wise. Just being able to see children grow and develop, I think, is just such a rewarding thing.
How long have you been at Bredon?
Just my second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and is it your first headship, or were you...
It is my first headship. Yeah. So prior to that, I was working in independent SEN school in Sevenoaks for 8 years, and then prior to that in the grammar sector, and then in the independent sector in South London. So I've kind of seen a real sort of diverse, different schools around the place, and had a taste of them all. So this is interesting coming here, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so far, I mean, 2 years in, you're really starting to get your feet under the desk and get stuck in now. I mean, was it sort of quite daunting to start with, or did you find your pattern pretty quickly?
I think I found my pattern pretty quickly. Obviously, with COVID coming along, it puts
not ideal.
A sizable dent in sort of momentum, etc. But there was a fantastic book written about Bredon, and what it was set up for back in the early days, and I was given that the summer before I joined, and read that from cover to cover, and really got an understanding of I guess the heart and soul of the place, and that gave me some real direction as to where I wanted to go, but it kind of enforced even more to me why a school like Bredon is so important, especially geographically, where we're situated with so many other big schools around us.
Absolutely, and that leads us very neatly on to my next question. I wonder whether you think Bredon has become a slight victim of its own success, as far as you've got the most amazing facilities for special educational needs. Do you think that sometimes means that people target you for that rather than being a mainstream independent school?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got the most amazing facilities for children with dyslexia and for children that need a more nurturing, outdoorsy environment, still within that independent school framework. So there's all the other stuff. There's all the CCF. There's the boarding. There's the enriched academic offer, but also there's the vocational offer that actually might open up doors for children, educationally, and give them a glimpse of what education can be like, instead of just following the same old trajectory through GCSEs, A levels, and away. So yeah.
And being a family school, I mean, you're going to have a different level of ability in one family alone, aren't you? So that proves the point, really. I mean,
very much so. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you can accommodate all. Fantastic. And I know also, and it's something that lots of schools are able to say, but you know, your pastoral care is something you take very seriously, and I know it's a very key aspect of Bredon, and indeed your small class sizes.
Yes.
Do you think that, I mean, it's an obvious, I guess, but I mean, happiness breeds success, I expect.
Definitely, and I think if you've got the environment right, it doesn't matter. You know, every parent knows their children the best, and if you get your children in the right environment, then you know great things happen, and that's just key, absolutely key.
And do you or the school have a motto that you keep in the forefront of your mind?
I think for me, I do. I think you know they can. I think they can. I think it's just so sort of real for especially the children that are here at Bredon. You know, if you really believe you can do something, then we will help you to do that.
Sure.
Whether that's, you know, follow a career in the IT world, whether that's go off to university with your A levels, or whether that's to go and become a tree surgeon. If that's what you want to do, we can make that happen.
Yeah. Well, it sounds pretty good. I was interested as well with the sort of constant debate on exam pressure generally, and particularly in light of public exams recently having been shelved last year and sort of slightly under the shadow this coming year. Do you think we've got the right balance at the moment on academic versus sort of vocational for the young adults that we're educating?
No, I don't. I think that the vocational marketplace is something that needs to be explored further. I think, and I can only talk for ourselves here, but you see different pathways suiting different children, and it feeds back into that happiness model. If children are doing things that they really enjoy, they're going to get qualifications in, and ultimately it's not about churning them out here with vocational qualifications to go and get jobs. It's about them coming out of here to go and get with, you know, qualifications that give them careers, because those careers are fundamental to them progressing out there in the big wide world.
And is that, forgive my ignorance, because you offer BTEC, I think,
yes,
as a qualification, and that probably lends itself well to what you're discussing, doesn't it?
Very, very much so. Very much so. And you know, you can have a mix between the two, but ultimately, it's walking out of here, as I say, with those qualifications in your briefcase, ready to face the next challenge and next journey. So super important.
Yeah, and ultimately giving the children confidence, or the pupils confidence, because I mean,
very much so.
There's a multitude of things you can do once you've got that licked. Absolutely. And interesting to hear your pathway to being ahead, but I wonder whether if for any reason that hadn't happened, what your dream job might have been.
Oh, that's quite easy. I was asking my wife last night. It would be a farmer.
Really?
Definitely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that would be what my dream job would be.
Right, you'd stick with those early mornings and just being outside, would you?
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
And on that note, I mean, you're doing all the work for me at the moment, which is fantastic. Bredon has its own farm, I read.
We do, yes. We have our own working farm. So I'm very clear on this. It's not a petting zoo. It's a fully operational farm. Right. And you know, for me, again, talking about why Bredon was the right fit for me. Within the farm is everything. Sure. There is maths, there is science, there is English, there's art, there's humanities, there's everything sitting there. And for children who've had a difficult experience within education, or for children who struggle, be that through maths, English, whatever it is, you can just find little avenues within the farm that just make things work. You know, you can do your percentages with your ewes and working out how many lambs you're going to have come lambing time. That's still maths. It's practical maths though. Yeah. And you know, suddenly the light bulb goes on, and actually, yeah, I get percentages now, or I get kind of the ratio, or I get what the feed mix needs to be. And the same with English, and the same obviously with the sciences, etc. And you know, so many subjects. It really fits in.
And so, is that something that students come out or can come out with a qualification in, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can come out with a land-based studies qualification,
right.
And it's something that we're looking to obviously develop and grow, and it's something that ultimately we're surrounded with you know, cracking universities such as Cirencester. We've got Hartley on doorstep as well, and this is a really sort of rich farming community around here as well. So it's there for everyone to see, but it's something that definitely quite a few children take up and pursue further.
And pretty unique. I'm not sure I know many schools with a working farm. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, no, it has its plus and minus points when the piglets escape. So we've got 21 piglets at the moment, and when they're on the rampage, the poor maintenance team have a bit of a job putting flower beds back together, or cattle fall in the river. There's a list of things that needs to be done, but no, all good.
It's real life, isn't it? Essentially,
it's real life.
Yeah.
And we set up a farm shop this year, which obviously has taken a bit of a back step because of COVID, but it's something we're pursuing slowly. And the aim will be to have our own eggs that you can come and buy. Parents come and pick up, half a dozen eggs, your bacon, Bredon, and sausages, and beef and lamb. That'll all be there to purchase. And within that is the marketing, is the social skills, all the other stuff. So you may not want to put your wellies on and go and muck out the animals, but you can still market that food and send it off and whatnot. So yeah, really important for us.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And I mean, outdoor pursuits generally are a big thing with you for all the reasons we've chatted about. You've got amazing facilities, but you've got incredible countryside around you. I mean, I happen to know your clay pigeon shooting record or reputation is pretty amazing. Yeah. In fact, I think we've had to sadly delay. We do a shooting competition ourselves, and you guys were all signed up for that, which we are rescheduling for next March at Holland and Holland's amazing grounds. So we will look forward to that. But I was just interested to know, as a mother of 4 teenagers myself, do you think that's sort of is a good distraction from dare I say it, the sort of screen time of the modern generation?
Yes, yeah, very much so. I think going back to that sort of family feel and that community here, children are really busy here. I think that's so important, and it's not just about those mainstream sports with your hockey, your rugby, etc. It's not just about those sports. It's about other sports. And
sure.
This afternoon's a classic. There'll be children out mountain biking, and what entails going mountain biking is huge. They have to learn how to change a tyre. They have to learn how to go down slopes and all sorts of bits and bobs. So that in itself is a lesson within a lesson, but it's something a bit different. But then there's all the individualised sports, the kayaking, the climbing, the clay pigeon shooting that you've spoken about. And those sports, you can put a top rugby player or a top netball player on a climbing wall, and they're a completely different person because actually they're taken out of their comfort zone, and that's where self-confidence can be grown. So really, really important for us to have that breadth of offer from a sporting perspective, and really test children.
Yes, but it also levels the playing field, as you say, doesn't it? It stops the hierarchy of I mean, nothing against, I love my rugby, but it stops the rugby hero just being the only thing that anyone's looking at.
Very much so. Put him on the river in a kayak and he's a different person. So very important. Yeah,
no, it sounds amazing. God, I have to say, I'm very keen to start my education again by the sound of what you're offering. Nick, just on a sort of more of a personal note, I guess, is there something about you that most people don't know? Is there something that you either enjoy or a skill that perhaps you keep undercover?
I don't know really. I think I'm quite adventurous. So I spend a lot of time outside. So we live in a pretty remote place as well. My family, my wife and I, and we. I like making my own sausages. I guess that's probably a bit of a unique thing people wouldn't know. So yeah, sort of we're a pretty hands-on family. So we like getting out and the countryside. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wondered actually on that note, I mean, it's a pretty full-on job being a head these days. It's multifaceted. You are expected to be in a million different areas at one time. I think it's one of the most diverse roles around. And I was interested to know how you juggle that with family life. I mean, do they see very little of you during the term time and wait for the holidays, or is there a balance between the two?
I think it's super important to get the balance right. It's family first, and I think that if they're happy, then I can do my job to the best of my ability. And making sure that we have time together is uber important for us. And we do make time, and we make sure that we do stuff together and really celebrate that. So it is very important for me, and I think very important for anyone to make sure you get that balance right.
I think also you have to do it earlier on enough in the process, whereby when they become older and sort of less interested perhaps, and you've got the foundations in place, but when they've got other things pushing and pulling them, if they know that the family foundation is strong and that you all have fun together, it's a hugely good start.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
And Nick, I'm assuming your alumni are, are strong, and I was just interested to know whether you think that there are. I mean, you're championing the individual from everything you've said today, but I wonder if there are any common themes that connect old. I'm going to get it wrong now. Is it Bredonians?
Bredonians, yeah.
Bredonians. Is there anything that you think is the thread that runs through them as a group?
Definitely, I think Bredonians in general, and I'd say current Bredonians as well, are very, very resilient, and they've had to be resilient, whether that be because of past experiences in bigger schools, whether that be because they like the way that they learn and they've got to make that happen. But they're also can-doers, so they also make sure that when they put their hand to something they're really passionate about, that they make it happen. So I think resilient can-doers really sums up old Bredonians and current Bredonians very well.
It sounds like a very special school. Enjoy your time there, and thank you so much for your time with us this morning. It's been a real insight into a school I didn't know a huge amount about, but and we fingers crossed we get to meet you guys at the shooting in a few months' time.
Great stuff. Look forward to it.
Lovely. Thanks, Nick. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.